Welcome back to the Creative Mission Show, folks. Bringing the last segment out for you here. Trying to give you a little more chill music as we wind up the show. Ben Charles, Caleb Crispy here, live from Goalie Studios in Ybor City, the Ybor Bermuda Triangle of Tampa, Florida. You want to call in? This is your last chance to do it, guys. You got about 20 minutes to do so. 813-438-6068. Go to creativemissions.com. Check us out there.
You really want people to call in? You said that very commandingly loud.
That's what I do.
813. Now, I have a question. We call it the Ybor Bermuda Triangle quite a bit. Is that because you've been lost down here a few times?
I think everyone has at one point or
Oh,
another.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I was actually down here years and years ago for, I think it was Guavaween. And this is when C. Nelly, the great C. Nelly, was over at UCF for college. So I didn't even know I didn't know what was going on. And I came down here with some friends of mine. We were just hammered, to the point where we sat outside of was Adobe Gila's, but we were downstairs. We just sat there for hours, people watching and just licking our wounds still. We were so drunk. And I went upstairs to get a drink, and I went right up the stairs. They had a little beer tub set up right there, and I'm standing there ordering a drink, and a person comes up behind me and says, "I will beat your ass." And I'm thinking, oh, great. I'm way too drunk to not get in a fight, but I'm way too drunk to fight. And I'm just standing there, and I just kind of like take a deep breath, and I turn and look, and it's C. Nelly standing right there. He had come over for Guavaween with some college buddies, and we actually, in the midst of, 20,000 people partying drunk, we ran into each other there. It was pretty funny.
It's a good thing you didn't fight him with the retard stick.
Ooh, I'd have been dead.
Oh, man. You wouldn't be doing the show.
No.
You would have never made it here.
My jaw would still be wired shut.
That retard strength. Oof. You don't want to mess with that.
No.
Apparently, what you also don't want to mess with getting a bionic penis. The healing process is a bitch.
Is it?
That's what I heard. Yeah, according to this story. I remember the dude we talked about, the dude with the first bionic penis.
Yeah.
Let me get to the story here. Yeah, so remember, his name was Muhammad Abad.
Bless you.
Thank you. Sorry, had a little cold. Who had lost his penis and his testicle because it was run over by a car at age 6.
Ugh.
Okay, now he's 43. So this dude has not had a crank in 37 years. That's the scientific term, right?
Yeah.
Crank?
Yeah.
Like snooch juice.
Yeah.
I squeezed it in again. That's
exactly what
I
it is.
squeezed it into the show again, Caleb. Actually, you could call that fresh squeezed snooch juice.
I don't want you to squeeze your crank into anything near me, all right, buddy?
But this 43-year-old, he hasn't been able to squeeze his crank in anything because he's been crankless.
Oh, poor guy.
It sucks. So he's 43. He finally gets the crank. And they made it out of, how'd they make it again? Hold on, let me see. It was, I read this story earlier, I swear. First of all, you know what's cool is he got an 8-incher out of it, so that's pretty good. I mean, in this
1.6 centimeters, that's good.
in this economy, I mean, you got to get as big of a crank for your money as you can.
Now, do they actually have a sliding scale on price for those?
They should. Pay by the inch. So they made the crank out of the flesh of his arm, okay? And it's got like a whole little pump get up in it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, in order for it to heal, when you get the new crank, he had to sustain an erection for 2 weeks following the surgery because it's the only way it's going to heal properly. So Mr. Abad, for the last 2 weeks, as he's going to work and stuff, he's got a concealed boner.
Oh.
Yeah, his 8-inch boner.
Oh.
That he just got. For the first time in 37 years.
If I just got an 8-inch boner for the first time in 37 years, I wouldn't conceal it at all. I'd walk around with a doctor's note. Got to do it.
I got to air it out. That's how you heal. It's bad to keep it covered up. It gets sweaty.
You can go to the ladies in the office. Sorry, ladies. Got a note.
Tap, tap, tap. Hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you.
It's called into human resources for doing it. Oh, sorry. No, got a note.
Hey, I've got a doctor's note.
Yeah, medical accommodations.
Now, why don't you put some salve on it for me? I appreciate it.
Oh.
Need some Neosporin on there. Could you put it on? Thank you.
That'd be the worst part about having a 2-week boner is you couldn't do anything with it.
Yeah, I mean, you got to figure he's just dying to flog the hell out of that thing. You know what I mean? I mean, what is the first thing you do? Okay, if you haven't had a crank in 37 years, what's the first thing you do? Do you rub one out? Or
know.
do
I
you
don't- I
try
don't-
to screw somebody first?
Does it
He's
have-
a virgin, obviously. I mean, he hasn't
Yeah.
had cranks to do a 6.
Does it have feeling? I mean, do you get the pleasure of that part? I mean, is it only there so he can give pleasure to?
He said he loves having it, and he actually said he can't wait to lose his virginity.
Well, hey, there you go.
But yeah, I mean, do you? I'm curious about that too. I mean, does he get the same kind of sensation that we do? Otherwise, it's just I don't know. I mean, I don't.
It's a waste of time.
Seems kind of lame, actually. Because imagine how much more productive you'd be if you didn't try to get laid.
Well, I don't know.
As
I mean,
men, we'd be way more productive if everything wasn't based on trying to get laid.
I don't know. Would you though?
The only reason our society is the way it is because it's all about trying to get
every
laid.
decision you've ever made in your life is because
As a
you're trying to
man,
get laid.
everything's about getting laid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So if you didn't have that, you wouldn't do anything.
that's right.
You wouldn't be productive at all.
That sounds glorious.
Okay. I
point
mean,
I'm trying to
why
make.
have a job? You don't need a house or a car.
That's
if you don't-
right.
I mean,
Hey.
I don't know.
All of a sudden, the term in this economy, it doesn't mean anything.
It does.
And that's kind of utopic if you think about it. Hey.
Yeah,
Although it would be tragic to lose that saying. It would. But not as tragic as losing your crank and your testicle. So
No.
You get a bionic 8-incher. Hey, life sounds good, but you got a tent you've been pitching for 2 weeks, and you got to try to conceal it. I wonder what he does. Like when he's I hope he's not in a job where he has to wear dress slacks, because that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Does he fasten it?
Maybe.
And maybe he has to tie it down. I don't know.
Maybe.
It's tough.
I don't know. You do the old tuck it up in the belt loop thing? Or in the waistband?
I think that's what you got to do, right? That's the best way to do it.
Maybe we should see if he can call in and tell us what he does with it.
Oh, boy. I don't know if that call would go well, but it would be fun. Yeah, 2 weeks he had to keep a boner. Now, that's a long boner to have. You would think it'd be dangerous because you hear that condition, priapism. They say every time you watch one of these ED commercials, they always talk about priapism, right? Like you've been hard for 4 hours or more, go see a doctor. Which you would think people would just know. I mean, you don't screw with your boner, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not something that you want breaking on you.
I think the best thing about that was all the stand-up comedy jokes that came after that. You know, because the whole joke was, if I had a boner for 4 hours, I wouldn't see a doctor. I'd see a couple more strippers, something like, you know.
I think this guy's been watching that comedy because you got a dude who took 35 Viagra pills in an hour, who surprisingly ended up in a hospital.
Why?
Well, he was stuck with an erection for 5 days. As to why, they don't tell you. Now, he is a plasterer by trade, which, I don't know, kind of has some funny coincidence to it. Daniel Medforth, he said he took the sex pills during a drunken bender for a laugh, he said. But, of course, surprisingly, the doctors told him off, which, yeah, of course. Now, he's quoted as saying, I ended up feeling sick, dizzy, and hallucinating. Everything I saw
He had no blood.
was green, and I had a massive erection that would not go away. Sadly enough, he never even used it, too. He didn't actually get to fire off anything.
I mean, as a joke or as a drunk stunt, 2 or 3 is, probably as far as you want to go.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's tough, and you got to think it out. The thing is, if you took that, what's crazy to me is it sounds like he didn't take them at a time apropos to actually do anything with it.
Yeah.
Because you would think, typically people take it right before they're about to get some.
Yeah.
Obviously, this wasn't very well thought out.
I mean, I can think if you're drunk, maybe you think you're about to get some. You take a few to combat the old whiskey dick. But to take 35 with no use lined up, that is, seems like a waste.
They're not cheap.
I wouldn't know.
The Viagras are not cheap.
How do you know?
Dude, I had, and this is actually true. I know it's funny because as soon as I say this, it's going to sound like it's me, but I had a friend. It sounds like it's me, of course, but I really did have a friend and this was like, we were roommates, because in the Cranial Mission show, when you hear the Hulk music, you always start out with, that's protocol. I lived with this dude, we were in our 30s, and he had this need he thought that, he was a Superman if he took dick pills before he'd go have sex. That's what he would tell me, which sounds a hell of a lot better than saying you have ED.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't know what the story was with that. But, yeah, he thought that made him better. And the Viagras were expensive. They were expensive. That's what he told me what he paid for it. I'm thinking, my God, that's a lot of money on top of the money that you're already paying just to get laid.
Well, it's like there's a commercial that always runs. I think it's on satellite radio. And I can't stand the way the guy talks, because he talks about spending $4 per pill on Viagra. You can get it for less than $1 a pill. So yeah, $4 a pill, I guess, $35. That's $150 right there.
That's $150 boner that you didn't use.
Well, and then he had to go to the hospital or to the doctor on top of that.
But he had a boner for 5 days. How did he not fire one off for 5 days?
Yeah.
No way. I mean, you're firing 5 off a day. At least. With that?
I do that without it.
Damn. You really do love the site that I won't mention just because we always do. I'm trying not to anymore. They don't pay us.
No. Password went on a cruise and was out of town for 4 days.
Oh, wow.
So
you used the hell out of that site, didn't you?
No. I'm talking about catching up when she got back.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Maybe you should take him 35 Viagra for it.
Maybe. See what she thinks about that.
Do you have like a 5-day bender in there? You know? When Password gets back from vacation, they'll think she went horseback riding.
She already went back to work. She was sick, but I think
why are you walking like that?
I think it was that nasty cruise air.
We had a 5-day Viagra bender.
Oh,
it was rough.
That would just no. That wouldn't be fun at all.
No.
I
don't think you wouldn't have much skin left after that.
No,
that could be bad.
No,
that could be bad. You'd have to use a lot of lube.
Yeah, and well, then so much dampness, it would like when you sit in a hot tub for too long and your fingers get all pruny. You have prune dick.
Pruny dick. Yeah, it's another term that we've coined today.
Mark it in the books.
Pruny dick and snitch juice. Just remember that, all you craniacs. We're here to educate you. That's what we do. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
The Chinese sperm bank's in the news right now because
shocking.
Yeah, it's rare that we have a story that takes place in the Orient, isn't it?
No, yeah.
So
we never talk about that area.
But sperm banks in the news, they were using iPhone 6s to attract sperm donors. So you can get enough money from your regular sperm donations. You can earn up to $940, and they advertise that it's more than enough to purchase an iPhone 6s, which apparently up there starts at $649.
That's a pretty good deal. I'll go donate. How much you got to donate to get an iPhone?
They don't actually specify in the amount, but considering the urban legend, I'm thinking it'll take you a lot less time to fill that up than the natives.
Yeah, probably. Well, it's funny here. The new phones came out, and Password has been wanting a new phone. Maybe I'll give her a new phone for helping collect.
Well, there you go.
So
can you ship it? No, I mean you got to refrigerate this stuff. Though it doesn't have much of a shelf life, so you're going to have to spend some time in China.
I've been there.
You're going to have to the expense.
I was just talking about buying her one to help me collect.
Oh, okay. So you're just going
to
So you're just going to directly trade your prune juice for an iPhone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe.
Right.
I don't think that works well though. I don't.
When you go for the money shot, are you going to have her hold up a measuring cup so you can monitor this? Hey, look, I'm your Jewish friend. I'm making sure you get I'm making sure you get enough bang for your buck, literally.
Well, you know what they say. Which one costs more, sex for money or sex for free?
Hey, in this economy, forget about it.
Regardless.
Yeah, so
regardless.
So iPhones for Chinese sperm donors. There you go, guys. Get out there and do it for your country.
Yeah.
Well, or your iPhone.
Yeah. Either one.
Or just because you already have a wanking problem, you might as well get paid for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this I think that was your spring on your microphone. It sounded like you're playing guitar. It's interesting. You're playing bass while you're hosting. But yeah, it's apparently working pretty well. It's interesting that they're encouraging that too, because this is the country that was modifying their population for the longest time. They were restricting it. So
yeah,
I don't know.
You know how that came?
Well, yeah, because everybody.
Well, yeah. Yeah, they didn't have the money for weapons, so they figured they could build an army. So they encouraged everyone to go out and populate, and then they realized, oh shit, we can't afford all these people.
I know. In this economy.